Okay, hello. Now this is part two of what I was just talking about on the other video regarding a very important thing here that we're talking about. I last left off talking about Leonardo da Vinci and the Da Vinci Code, this and the other, because I was trying to say how what I show in my video, the Da Vinci Code video, I'm showing all kinds of things that are showing you the real little mysteries of the Bible, which by the way, there's no such a mystery in the Bible. I don't care about the Leonardo da Vinci's so-called whatever, or the man who wrote the book or whatever. There's no secrets in the Holy Bible. That's what makes the Holy Bible the most wonderful thing. The God who created all things reveals his word to us and reveals what actually he gives us. He revealed to us what's going on and what's coming in the end and what we must prepare for. Okay, now, people ask me about this thing. How do I know about death, this, that, and the other? Well, okay. There is considering, see, the problem here is that when you talk about death a certain kind of way, people were taught by churches, books, movies, and things like that. And that's as far as their knowledge goes regarding it. It's this great big mystery. So they fill in that mystery, try to fill in that mystery with their books and their different things and their movies and this, that, and the other. Instead of going deep in that Bible or using the Bible to show you. Do you know the reason, when I was coming up, they used to call the Bible, it was the good news. The good news of the gospel, the good news. The reason why it was called the good news was simply because of the horror that was going on with it. And when Yeshua Jesus gave his life, it became good news. Salvation. Good news, salvation. Pastors and preachers say, and whatever religious entities say, that God saved, Jesus saves, he saves you, salvation. But they never tell you what he saves you from. This other thing I'm talking about. Death. And all of its horror. Okay? Now, I believe that people on this earth, not everybody, but people on this earth, you get a chance. This is the weirdest thing. Now, here we go, y'all. You get a chance to get a quick little glimpse into what death is going to be like, the real death. You get a little glimpse to find out what it's going to be like. There is an experience that's on this earth that human beings go through, that sleep doctors who deal with sleep problems and people who have sleep issues, the doctors, sleep doctors, whatever, they gave it a name. They gave it a name. The name being hypnagogic or hypnopompic experiences. Some people look at it also as sleep paralysis. Okay? Now, when it comes to these sleep, hypnagogic and hypnopompic or sleep paralysis, when it comes to these things, there are three groups of people out there who know about. When it comes to hypnagogic and hypnopompic experiences or sleep paralysis, there are three groups of people. The first group is somebody like me. It has happened to many, many times in my life. The second group, somebody sitting right here, Never happened to them. They wouldn't know that. They wouldn't know what I'm talking about. What? That never happened to me in my lifetime. You crazy? The third group, somebody sitting over here on this side, never happened to me, but I heard about that. They know about it. They heard about it. They heard people talk about it or whatever. Now, what is hypnagogic and hypnopompic experiences? You are laying in your bed, sleep, dreaming, knocked out, having a good time in your sleep. But then one night, the most craziest thing happens. Suddenly, it's as if something comes in your room. And when it comes into your room, you are completely paralyzed to it. You can't move a single muscle in your body. Your eyes, you can barely open your eyes and squint your eyes around and look, but you can't move nothing in your body. And you watch things, something come walking in your room, and before you know it, it's on top of you, trying to get on top of you, or touch you, or do different things like that. And the noises that comes with it, the smells that come with it, all kinds of stuff, because I've been through it many, many times in my life. And it's the most horror of all horrors. And way back when I was just learning the Bible, I didn't put the connection together. What made me put the connection together was one time it tried to give me a massive heart attack. Ooh, then I knew. That's what this is all about. It tried to give me a massive heart attack. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. My heart was racing so fast. It was racing so fast. And me being a musician, I remember I'm thinking, I'm thinking as a musician, I'm gonna see how fast I'm gonna turn this into a song. That way I'll know how fast it was as memory, because musicians, professional musicians, that's what we know how to do. But anyway, I could turn this into a song. That way when I wake up, not even realize I may not even wake up. But not thinking that way. When I wake up, if I put it in song form, I'll know just how fast that was really going. My heart was going. Right now, my heart is going. That's my heartbeat right there. Slow down. There's my heartbeat. So imagine. And I was saying to myself, cool, Wayne, calm, Wayne, cool, calm, Wayne, cool, Wayne. I love you, Father. Praise you, Father. I love you, Father. Cool, Wayne. I was trying to come back. Oh, it was so, and that pain, that pain was like somebody with an ice pick going in my heart. And they were going in like thoroughly, slow, but thorough. Slow, but thorough. And it also felt like as if it was an ice pick going in me, and on the tip of the ice pick was electric, like being electrocuted. Not like you touch it, electrocuted. There's no pain like it ever. Not like that. You die from that kind of pain. Period. And there I was. Cool, Wayne. Calm, Wayne. Cool, Lord. I love you, Lord. Cool. And then finally, it stopped. And also, when it first started, this color just took over my whole being. This strange, bright color Just took it. That's what woke me up. That's kind of like after I woke up and I realized, whoa, what's going on? But you're so scared so fast and everything's happening so fast. I'm talking to you now, telling you about it and processing it to you this way live. But when I was laying in that moment, it wasn't like it wasn't like that. It was like one scary before you know it, you're gone. And it was all because this little thing sitting got on my back. Hypnagogic thing. Now people talk about hypnagogia and hypnopompic experience. Hypnagogia, it happens to you when you're going to sleep. Hypnopompic, it happens to you when you're waking up, which is more common. And people call it sleep paralysis. And through, if you look on internet, look at sleep paralysis or hypnagogic, hypnopompic experiences. You'll see it all, what I'm talking about. Okay? And they're all going to say the same thing. Now, notice what I just told you. And watch when you watch on a video on hypnagogic or hypnopompic, they're going to say the same exact thing. Millions of people. Same exact thing. Now, let's say that, okay, well, this is a mental, and the doctors, they try to make it like, well, this is a mental thing you're going through. So like your brain is going through something and your blood a certain kind of way, and you get your REM going on, rapid eye movement, whatever, and you're like half asleep and half awake, and you know what I mean? Okay, you want to look at it in a medical term or metaphysical term or whatever, okay, cool, you can do that. But what's that thing that comes into the room? What's that? How it's getting on top of you. What's that? And we're all million of these people saying the same thing. What's that? You can look at it as a medical term, a medical thing that's going on in the body, but what's this thing coming in the room? I remember one time, I'll give you a perfect example of an experience like this here. One time I was living in a basement apartment, beautiful basement apartment of my friend's house. The beautiful basement apartment, you go through this one door, and you go through that door, and you now are into their garage, to their main house. And you go up the garage, around to the garage, the car's in there, and then you go up these steps to go up to their kitchen, to their house upstairs. And one morning, I was, laying there, asleep, and all of a sudden I can hear like Good Morning America. I can hear their television and stuff going on. And somehow the door that opened up to the door that was upstairs, that went from the upstairs kitchen to come down the steps, that door flew open, blam! And it flew open so hard, it was so violent, it hit and came back. Wow! And came back, it was so hard. And that's what kind of woke me up. And I was like, and next thing you know, and something was coming down the steps. Slow. Coming down them steps, boy. And whatever it was, I know it was coming for me. And because when I was just completely paralyzed, completely frozen. And here it come. And I knew I'm going through that thing again. All right. And then you come down the steps, come around to where the door is. It stopped at the door. And I'm like, I couldn't move. And then before I could do anything, it was now in the room coming here. It was like right there, and now it's getting on top of me. You know how many people go through this? And what the kicker for me will always be regarding this experience, that we all say the same exact thing. Okay? And I've learned, and for anybody out there going through this hypnagogic or hypnopompic experience, you want to know what the kryptonite is? You want to know how to stop it immediately? Call on the name of Yeshua Jesus and watch that thing fly off of you and get away from you as fast as it can get off of you. And but that's another time. But when they tried to give me that heart attack, that's when I knew this was That's what this is all about. And all the different times I've had it, I now understand what this is all about. And the thing that comes into your room, and sometimes one time it was a whole lot of things came in the room, and this one in the center, he was like the leader of all these other little what's names, and oh gosh, I remember so many different times, whatever. But this is the enemy's world right here. And I believe that this has something to do with death. I know it. Because it cannot be that you go through that experience and it's that horrible, but when you die, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So in other words, when you die, death is whatever it is, but there's an experience on death, and there's an experience while you're living that's even worse than death. No. This is why God gave his son, to protect us from hypnapompic experiences, when you got to go through that and be like that until judgment. Because a very important part of this, I'm going through this. In fact, that one was coming down the steps. That one, I'm frozen. I'm completely paralyzed. You can only move your eyes. And inside of my mind, I'm thinking I'm pinching myself or biting my tongue or do anything to wake up. I just want to wake up. You can't. And I'm looking through my eyes and I can see my digital clock right there, 3:48 a.m. 3:48 a.m. And I should have thought right there, wait a minute, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:48 in the morning, Good Morning America should not be on. I didn't put that together, because you're so scared. You ain't thinking like that. You want to wake up right now. And you're so scared. Or you're going to prayer. Now, it was 3:48. And when I prayed unto our Lord and that thing jumped off, I prayed unto our Savior and that thing jumped off of me and took off. I looked at the digital clock, it was 3:49. It only took a second. Even though when you're going through it, it feels like forever. It feels forever. Okay? Now, again, but when I had the one with the heart attack, that's what revealed to me, okay, yeah, that's what this is all about. When people have to go there and be there forever. And I would, stop and think, well, they're talking about sleep apnea or sleep paralysis and some mental or physiological whatever. Okay, cool. But if the spirits didn't come into the room, that's what makes me know that it has to do with death. There's a spirits that come in and you can literally feel them trying to get on top of you. One time I had an experience where, and somehow my arms got all kind of crazy and I was laying there and next thing I was having a hypnagogic experience and it tried to tickle me. It was the most ugliest tickle I've ever felt in my lifetime. There was nothing, the tickle makes you laugh. Not this one. No. So now take all of that. What does this have to do with the Bible? All right. Now, first of all, in the Bible, Job was the one who went through this. Job went through a hypnagogic experience. Okay? Right after, in Job chapter 4, when he talks about he was laying in his bed, and when sleep comes when sleep comes on people at night, and he was laying in his bed, and a horrible image came before him. I'm paraphrasing. A horrible image came before him. It made the hairs on his back stand up. He was talking about hypnagogic experience. But that's just a small version of the bigger version, death, and having to deal with this on the long term. Now, I mentioned a second ago how it was one from 3:48 to 3:49, just for one little second. And that horror, can you imagine? And I'm talking now to the people who've been through a hypnagogic or hypnopompic experience, because I know there's people right now who are watching this video saying, oh yeah, I've been through that. Whoa, I've been through that. And he's right. That horror, that sound, that smell, the smell that smells like decomposed bodies. And can you imagine, for those people who've been through it, can y'all imagine going through that? I said from 3:48 to 3:49, not even a second. Can you imagine going through that for an hour? Can you imagine going through that for a whole day? How about a whole week? How about a whole month or a whole year going through that? And you're laying there in that. So yes, I believe it has something to do with death. And it's all horror. It's the horror of all horrors. On every blog you'll see on the video, on internet, for example, you'll never, and you're going to see a lot of them, you'll never see somebody say, oh, that was a cool, I love that. Ooh, really love, I love that. You know, no. Everybody says the same thing. It was the most horror of all horrors. Now, let's put this back into in the spiritual realm of our Father. You see, our Savior, death is the horror of all horrors. I'm going to give you some scriptures. This is apparently this is going to be in 3 parts. We're coming to the end of the second part here. In the next part coming up, I'm going to go into the scriptures, certain scriptures that will reveal to you what this is, the connection here regarding scriptures. Oh. This is serious business. And unfortunately for a lot of human beings on this earth, the ones who are now, the ones who came in, that were in the past that died, the ones now, and the ones that are coming in the future. The problem is, and was, and will always, was, is, and will always be, the church has never taught it. The church has never told you what was really going on. For whatever reasons. Some just because they want the money and they want power. They want that power. First churches was like, it's about power. Where when the government, the whole state or the government, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or over people. You know? Like I said on a couple of these other videos of mine. You know, a pastor of a Baptist church told me, "Nah, man, we don't talk about death up in here. Because that scares away the elders, and the elders that's a serious tithe. You know what I mean? And they'll give away their homes when they pass away. You inherit their homes, their financial situations, their cars, whatever. They get that stuff over to the church, so we don't scare them away. Talking about death, but that's what this was all about." All along. That's what this is about all along. And I've got to tell it. I've got to tell you. I've got to warn you. I've got to warn you. Wouldn't you want somebody to tell you the best? Wouldn't you want somebody to warn you about what's going on? Wouldn't you want, here's a better question, a better way of asking this. Wouldn't you want the church, if the churches knew this, wouldn't you want them to tell you what's going on? And with this, what's going on, what's happening, what's going to be happening when you have to die, and what's coming in your end, wouldn't you want them to tell you that? Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But to find all of this out, you got to be deep in that Bible. And not only deep in that Bible, but again, like I said, doing all the things. Your whole life is all about God. You know what I mean? Your whole life is about God. And everything you do is about Him. And now, that's not to say that you're supposed to become a priest or something like that there. No. No. But to have a relationship with Him in enough having a relationship with him enough that you want to know what's going on. You want to know the serious stuff that's going on, as opposed to you just go to church on Sunday. Everything's cool. Pastor talks for about 30, 40 minutes. 30, 40 minutes talking about what Donald Trump is doing and, some kind of earthly world thing. And then after the church is over, we go get our crackers and some food, whatever, this, that, and the other. And everybody hug and you're good. Now you got a whole another 6 days to go home, go to work, do all kinds of stuff until next week, until next Sunday. And that's as far as you go. But I know one thing. Now I'm going to end this video right here by saying this. That pastor, that preacher, that reverend, that minister, that rabbi, that deacon, whoever who's in charge of y'all churches, they're going to be held accountable. They're going to be held accountable. All the way back to, who knows, from even before right as the biblical days ended. That's when they started this new stuff. And keeping that quiet. They're going to be held accountable. Oh, then there's all the other things we're going to see coming, judgment and all the other things that are yet coming. That's where all this is going to come out. Okay? All right, so prepare now. I'm going to get the scriptures ready now for part 3 of this. Okay? All right.